Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Command Point. My name's Ryan,
And I am Shane.
and we're doing a tier list.
It's finally here.
It's finally here.
The masses have been clamoring for
They
it.
have been, yeah.
I mean, we can't get through our day.
No,
It's just
my phone is
constant
constantly.
flood of-
Yeah, I have to silence all my Discord notifications. Everybody,
I got something in the mail the other day, just unmarked. It just said, "Make a tier
do
list."
the tier list. It was just somebody went through a magazine and cut out all the different individual letters and glued it.
Oh, geez.
Like a Zodiac killer type situation. Yeah. So I don't know where else.
This is the fall 2020 tier list.
Yeah, this is fall 20 Kill Team Fall 2020 competitive tier list.
Yes.
I'd say yeah.
I mean, so I guess we should say that this tier list is specifically for the current competitive meta.
Yeah.
So this might not be a relevant tier list in a year.
Or next month.
Yeah.
Or next week. Or
Yeah.
tomorrow.
I mean, this essentially is like we're talking about, kill one, hold more, like Ibiricon, which is like what a lot of scenes are doing right now.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah. So where should we start? Right, because we have.
We can start with an easy one.
So we've got the D tier. Are we not doing an F tier? We should have an F tier.
Can I add that in?
Add a row below.
A row below.
Oh yeah. And we're gonna call that F tier.
Can I edit this?
There it is.
And what color is the F tier? Usually.
I feel like something gross, but it should probably be a little bit.
We'll go with the dark purple, I think.
It needs to be shocking. It needs to really stick out. Look at that.
Looks good. That looks good.
So yeah, we've got F, D, C, B, A, and S, and we're gonna stick to that.
Yeah.
So I guess let's get the easy ones out of the way.
Well, actually, do we? Do you want to do that, or do we want to just go down the line? Just go down. I suppose
we can go down the line.
Yeah.
So we got AdMech at the front?
Yeah, we got AdMech at the front here.
All right. So AdMech, in my eyes, they're S tier for me.
They're S tier for you?
I think they're S tier. I think there's only a few S tiers in the whole Ibiricon meta.
Oh, okay.
Like the TAO Freak Wars style meta.
Yeah.
That we're all kind of working around right now. And I think AdMech is there.
They're at S tier?
Yeah, I mean, let's just slap them up there right now.
We'll slap them up there right now, and then we'll see how we feel as we go along. Because
I have a feeling I'm gonna continue to feel good about that.
I mean, yeah, probably. I don't know. They're good, but they're good for the same reasons that other factions that are good, I would also rank at S tier. So I don't know. They probably deserve to be up there.
They're flexible. They just do it all, and they have crazy strengths, and they're adaptable. I don't know. I love them.
Yeah. Imperial Guard.
Okay, this is gonna sound silly, but also S tier.
No, come on.
I think they're S tier.
I think they'd be like a solid A, but I don't think they're S tier.
I think they're better than AdMech.
You think they're better than AdMech?
I do. I will say there's only 3 factions that I have in my mind as S tier. And we happen to have hit 2 of them in the first 2.
Yes. All right, we'll slap it in there for now.
Well, can we put it above AdMech? Unless you really No, not above in the tier, but like behind.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, there we
go. So now we have Asuryani.
Okay.
I'd say A or B.
Yes.
Like B plus.
Like a strong B, but let's just throw them an A.
Yeah.
They're Asuryani. I think they've earned the A.
It's alphabetical. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's not what I was going for, but yes.
No, they are good.
They're they're Eldar, right?
Death Guard. I think we can give these guys a D.
Yeah, I wouldn't give them an F.
No, well, I wouldn't either, because there's at least a competitive build for them. But I don't think in the 100 points, kill one, hold more meta that we currently find ourselves in, I don't think they have a lot of value, especially on an open board.
On the
because it's
TAO board, it's tough.
Because movement is their weakest component, and on that open board where there's very little
terrain,
I guess, cover, I would say, yeah.
For me, they're closer to C than they are to F for sure. I do think there is some value to Poxwalker spam.
Yeah, that on a board like this. That is true.
It's really hard to max the primary unless you're able to get hold more, which this is a team that can.
Mm-hmm.
They certainly can do it. I don't know. It's tough. My gut almost.
Well, you know what? Let's bump them up to C because Death Guard beat Biranid and his Tau 18-3 or something so far, right? That's
true. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll bump them up to C.
We're gonna go for the reaction.
We'll give them. Yeah. It's Monday night. You know, it's Overreaction Monday, as they call it in the football world.
Yes.
All right. Next up, we have Deathwatch. Oh man.
I don't want to put them F. I don't think they're F.
No, they're not F. Because you can build a competitive list with them at 100 points.
In the TAO board, the Freakors board is so open that I think Deathwatch actually really like that board as far as an elite team goes.
I think so too. I think the frag cannon at long range is underrated, and I think the heavy Infernus bolter is also underrated.
Yeah, I think I think I've always been of the opinion that people underrate special issue ammunition. Like just from my limited time playing around with it, I think the bolter bros are a little bit
they are underrated.
Not loved enough. I think Deathwatch are better than Astartes on this packet.
Whoa!
I do think that.
That kind of makes sense. Because you kind of get everything that you can already fit in a 100 points list. Like the differences aren't massive between Deathwatch and Astartes at 100 points. It's like, what else can Astartes bring at 100 points that Deathwatch can't? It's like scouts, right? And that's about it. Maybe a little bit more customization.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
And it's hard to abuse Death Denied on such an open board because there's going to be more action on that first turn. It's not like Arena where you can play
just
really
hide
conservative.
Turn one, and you're going to be fine, for the rest of the game. Yeah, so I would say... I almost want to say B, but I would say C or D.
I think let's throw them C right now.
Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna want to drop them at some point to D, but for now, would you put them above Death Guard? I don't think I would.
No, I wouldn't because they're going to be an elite team no matter what. Yeah, they don't have the option to play positional, honestly. Unless they're playing against other elite teams. So I honestly would put them in D.
Yeah,
if we're thinking about just the Ibericon packet, just because it's random tables of secondaries, and they don't have that positional flexibility, I would say D. But
I guess it's weird because they are. Like I think on this board and packet, I think they're disproportionately better against the other elite teams.
Yeah.
But they just can't win the matchups are rough. So I think I would put them. I think I'd put them C behind Death Guard.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah,
at the very least.
For now.
Mm-hmm. All right, next up, Drukhari S tier. Moving on.
Okay, no. Top of S tier.
Yes, my mistake. You think this is the correct order?
That's my S tier right there. That's it. If it's up to me, we're not touching that, but I could maybe be swayed.
It makes sense. I think Imperial Guard is definitely better than Adeptus Mechanicus because they're a lot more flexible with their model options.
Yeah.
Okay, what is this? Who are these guys? Oh, that's the Gellerpox Infested.
Okay. This team, I don't know if you've ever even played against this team. I have a couple times. They're like surprisingly decent.
Yeah.
Like they take you off guard. They've got a lot of weird rolls. They've got a lot of interesting models.
Mm-hmm. And it's like no one expects them,
No.
right? In a tournament or anything. I remember like 2 months after Rogue Trader came out, like they won a tournament or two.
Yeah, there was.
I think, I don't know, are they replacing pretty highly?
They were doing really well in the hold format.
Yeah.
I almost want to put them in C tier.
Yeah.
Between Death Guard and Death Watch right now.
Yeah.
I feel good about that.
Okay. Next up, Gene Stealer Cult.
This is tough. So they were in the finals of Freak Wars.
Yeah.
On the same format.
Yes.
I think it takes a really good pilot.
Yes, 100%.
But the ceiling is there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm almost thinking that I would want to see that team in A tier.
I would say that too, just because of that fact that they almost won.
But they really are so good if played well. And
so
I think we
good,
should judge them off of what can be done rather
than what has been done.
Yeah.
Grey Knights.
Grey Knights, they're like Death Watch in the sense that they're
super elite.
They're elite with no option to not be elite.
Yes.
And they're very focused on killing.
Yeah.
I think they're better than Death Watch on the packet.
I think so too, because Cybolts.
Yeah, I think the Psychic Face puts them over.
Yeah.
I don't think that the really good shooting is enough. And Grey Knights, in my eyes, are better in close combat than Death Watch is. Even the strong Death Watch melee models.
Yeah. Because you don't need to worry about the shenanigans involved with decisive strike and decisive move when you're Grey Knights, because you'll just Cybolt anything that comes close to you.
Yeah, not nearly as much as you would normally.
Yeah.
For now, I mean, do you think that Grey Knights... I don't know. It's tough because I like Death Guard more for like outlook, as far as like how far can you really take this?
Yeah,
on this board.
I think that's how we should be judging it. I would say that Grey Knights are definitely less than Death Guard, just because Death Guard can actually have a board presence.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, if you want to look at just the matchup alone, I think that Death Guard would win the Grey Knight Death Guard matchup on this board.
Yeah.
The more we talk about this, the more I almost feel like Death Guard should be bumped up to B tier.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They sound good, and they have proven themselves good. I don't know why we're honestly ranking them so low now that I'm thinking about it.
There hasn't been a great Death Guard performance in a while.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about I would put them above Gellerpox, Grey Knights.
Yeah.
But I would put them behind Death Guard. And do we want to bump Death Guard up to B right now? For now?
I don't see why not. We don't have anything else in B, so...
I mean, they feel good there.
Yeah.
Because to me, they're clearly behind, like, the A tier that we have.
Oh,
but I think that they have...
This is such a weird... Looking at this is cursed. Oh, Asuryani ranked at A. Oh, yeah, sure. Gene Stealer Cult ranked at A. Oh, yeah, sure. Death Guard ranked at B. What? Huh? What are you talking about?
The more I think about it, the more I like it. And I know that the movement is bad.
It makes sense.
But in a way, the movement isn't that bad because on an open board like this that is so favorable to shooting, the double Blight Launcher gunners, who can always advance because Plague Marines are basically always heavy specialists.
Right.
Those guys are always advancing, and they're really strong, like ranged models.
Yeah.
So I think, and with the capability of just flooding the board with Poxwalkers. The only downside is if your Plague Marines die, there's not like a mechanism to fight the morale phase.
Yeah.
With your horde, which I think is something that a lot of the other hordes do have.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, so Grey Knights, we're putting them above Gellerpox and above Death Watch.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on.
Harlequins. I think B.
Ooh, no.
No, really? You don't?
Okay, this is one I think we disagree harshly on.
Yeah?
I think Harlequins are D.
Oh, explain yourself.
They go down so easy. At 100 points, you're looking at maybe 6 or 7 bodies.
Yes.
6 are in T3 bodies with 4 up invulns, no multi-wound, No, like, feel no pains. It's just the 4-up invuln. The second you
Right.
get 2 wounds through, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
The board is so open, it's hard for them to hide. I don't know. I feel like
I think their movement makes up for their inability to hide, because I think they can hide behind like crates pretty well, and their 3d6 charging like like moves and stuff like that, and with their flip belts.
Yeah.
Remember, those crates, they're not like infinitely tall movement blocking pieces anymore. You can just go right over them. You can go right over those towers too, in the middle of the board.
that is a good point.
So I think they're at B tier, and I also think that the Soaring Spite sub-faction, where you just give them, where you just spam like fusion pistols at 100 points, and then they treat those fusion pistols as assault weapons. It's like you just pull up with a bunch of dudes with meltaguns, basically.
Yeah.
I think they're.
My issue,
I think this packet is like honestly the strongest we've seen Harlequins in a bit.
I do want to say, I think compared to some of the other factions in this range, I think that their matchups against the best teams are disproportionately kind of rough.
Oh, yeah.
And you put that on top of the fact that they are already mega struggling against Grey Knights and any
Right.
Psyker army.
Yeah.
How about we put them above
C
above
Death
Gellerpox
Watch.
and Deathwatch,
Yeah.
but below Grey Knights?
Yeah.
I think that's like a good
Yeah.
middling area. So far we've got nothing in the D and F tier.
Oh, we're getting there.
We're getting
Don't
there,
worry.
alright.
I see him coming up.
We have also filled out our S tier, so I mean that's
Yeah. Yeah. Good on you guys for not skipping to the end. For you guys watching.
Oh, we've
to
got a
get-
nice treat for those of you still watching. If you
Yeah.
just wait till the end, and
Yeah.
you guys get to be in on something with us.
You'll get a good laugh out
Anyway,
of it.
what do we got next?
We've got Heretic Astartes.
Heretic Astartes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I, for one, think that Heretic Astartes are solid on this pack. I don't think that they're like world beaters.
I agree.
Pun not intended. That almost sounded like world eaters.
World beaters, world eaters.
I don't think that they're A tier,
No.
but I think that they're better than Death Guard
Yes.
in B. I think they should be B, like a high B.
Yeah.
And this is how I usually see them. Although in BAO, I think they were A tier.
Yeah. They can cultist spam. The Berserkers are still dangerous, and their shooting is underrated with their gunners and their weapon options.
Yeah, and Berserkers, as usual, are gross. Super
Yes.
gross. Just like devastating models.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel comfortable with Heretic Astartes being where they are.
Next up, it's everyone's favorite, the Kroot. I think we have our first F tier.
Possibly our only F tier. Oh, maybe not. So okay, here's the thing. Kroot.
I'm talking about mono Kroot. I'm not talking about Kroot with drones.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, because there are some, like, you can do anything with Tau drones.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, like Kroot though. I think they're better here than they have been on like BAO or any of the previous formats we've played in a long time.
Yeah.
And yet still, I think
still
they're
they're
F tier.
yes. Yeah.
They don't hit hard enough, even with the Kroot Riders. And there's really not the points for it here anyway.
No.
They're a horde that doesn't have any mechanism to stop them from breaking.
Nope.
Their movement isn't really that good for a team that probably should have better movement. I mean, the Kroot Hounds are nice, but you can only take a couple,
Yeah.
and they die so quick. Honestly, it is sad hours for Kroot.
It is
on a permanent basis.
Sad Kroot hours. Who's up?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna keep them down at the F tier.
Yep. Where
There is-
they belong.
Major issues with this faction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's move on.
Necrons.
Okay, Necrons. They're good.
Yeah, they're good.
I don't think on this format. I don't think they're S tier.
No, not on this format.
I honestly, I want to say they're like. I would put them at the bottom of A tier.
Bottom of A.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
they're below the teams we have in A tier right now in this format.
Yeah.
But I think they should be up there just because Flayed One Spam is very good still.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little bit more punishable on a board like this.
Yeah.
Next up.
Orcs.
What do you think?
What do I think?
I want to hear
orcs?
your take on this.
Orcs are terrifying because of the what is it? The flash kit.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, to be fair,
on an open board with that kind of shooting, it's if it goes off in a big way, and you just wind up losing the game. But it's kind of a skew. I honestly don't know. I don't think orcs are that good for some reason. Well, I can tell you what that reason is. It's because this board is so big and so wide open that it punishes these sort of basically like melee-based factions. So I would put them at like B or maybe upper C.
So I do think that the single flash kit at 100 points on a board like this really has some merit.
Yeah.
It's very good. You don't have to run freebooters either. It's just a good model.
Yeah.
And we can't forget they did win Freak Wars.
Oh, duh, yeah. Okay.
And that was like a horde. It was an Evil Sunz horde.
Right.
My issue with them is they don't. Again, they're a horde that doesn't have the anti like morale phase. Like they
no,
don't.
They do. They do. You just make one of them a veteran, and then when both your and your opponent's teams break, you'll win because you'll have one model that is literally unshakable. That's literally how Freak Wars was won.
Yeah.
So A?
If I put them anywhere, I would put them. I think they're like the top of
B. Okay, yeah, that's fair.
I think they're kind of tough, but they can be run to a high level.
Yeah,
especially on this board. You have to do Evil Sunz though. I don't think you can do it with another one. I think you got to use that movement.
You don't think Death Skulls can?
I mean, obviously, I'm the Death Skulls truther.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm surprised.
I think you need the movement on a board like this.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like normal movement isn't really enough for a team like Orcs on this board. Yeah. You need to be super fast.
Yeah. All right, so Servants of the Abyss. What do you think of these guys? I have no experience with them.
I have some. I've actually played against Micromancer's Servants of the Abyss a few times.
Oh, okay.
My issue with them is I think the things that they are good at, other factions are better.
Yeah.
So
what do you which aspects of them are strong that other factions beat them out at?
I think you can look at like the Negavolt cultists. Those are like good melee models, and like once they get in, they are they have like a high volume of attacks. They have mortal wound potential.
Okay.
But there's obviously the limit on them, which sucks. They were pretty dominant before that limit was put on them. Mm-hmm. They were like actually winning like hold tournaments back in the day. But with the limit and at 100 points, I mean their chaff units are just like guardsmen basically, or like cultists.
Yeah.
Like you pick one. And then like you have the 7-point beastmen, which are kind of cool. They're kind of remind me of orcs, honestly.
Yeah.
Or like Zangors a little bit.
Okay.
But like slightly better than those two models in my opinion. But I don't know, they just like you can run them as a pure horde and it's not as good as the other pure hordes. You can try to run them as a more elite team and you're just not hitting hard enough.
Yeah.
You do have the Rogue Psyker, but that's such a weird model that I don't know how much you can get away with.
Yeah, it's very jank you're
super jank.
Yeah.
If you like jank, this might be a faction for you.
Yeah.
I don't think they're Kroot bad though.
I'd say D.
That's where I was going with this. Because
it seems like it sounds like they're just not good at anything. They're a jack of all trades, but
master of none.
Master of none is an overstatement.
Yeah. I don't know. I've seen people try to run them. I have not really been that impressed. I like those Negavolts. Those are cool, but that's about it. Anyway, so what I wanted to say was the more I look at this, the more out of place Deathwatch looks in C tier. Deathwatch, I feel like they should be D tier. I would say above Servants, but I don't feel like they belong there in the C tier. I don't know. What do you think?
I think you just think that because it's looking crowded in C tier right now.
I swear to God, that's not the reason. It would be much more aesthetically pleasing if they weren't there, but also
Harlequins. Okay, so let's look at the C tier and look at every faction and decide if this faction would whoop Deathwatch. So Grey Knights would definitely whoop Deathwatch's.
Probably. I mean, I think there's potential for Deathwatch maybe if they like go have like a big.
They're
turn
elites. They've got Cybolts. They've got Cybolt ammunition.
But also they have Primaris and big shooting, which is, you know.
Yeah, big shooting. Yeah.
It can happen. It has to be like a turn 1 tabling, but Deathwatch can do it.
Yeah. Harlequins can definitely.
Yeah, I like that matchup for Harlequins.
No problem. Gellerpox.
I think Gellerpox in Deathwatch would be a closer matchup.
I think it would be too, because it's like frag cannons versus guys with a lot of wounds.
Well, you've got some guys with a lot of wounds, and you've got like a million guys with 1 wound, and like a 6-up invuln and like toughness 2.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know.
I think they're definitely better than Servants.
Oh yeah, I would put them above Servants.
Yeah,
I would put them top of D right now.
Top of D. All right. So we've got Adeptus Astartes next.
Yeah.
We already established that. Well, you said that they are worse than Deathwatch in this meta.
I think so. I do.
So you think they're obviously better than Servants?
Yeah, I do think they're better than Servants. I mean it feels weird.
It looks weird and it feels wrong, but it's like it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. I just can't put them up there with these other factions. I don't think that they have the flexibility at 100 points to do it.
Yeah.
I think the board favors shooting so much, and the only way to Deathwatch is just better at that than them. Mm-hmm. And the openness of the board means more action early on, which takes Death Denied out of the mix a little bit more.
Yeah.
And if you want to run melee, it's probably a good idea to take.
Oh, it'd be so expensive, man.
It'd be tough. You'd have to. I think you'd want to run like jump packs just so you can close the gaps early on.
Yeah, exactly. And that's so expensive. And it's not like you can move them behind things and save yourself turn 1.
I think I think it's
arena
tough.
Board, like you said, it's very tough for that faction to succeed. Speaking of factions with which it is tough to succeed, let's talk about the Elucidian Starstriders.
So, I mean, I have only played against this faction once or twice.
Yeah.
But I will say that I have looked at them and really thought about it.
Uh-huh.
And with confidence, I think they're F tier.
Yeah.
I think they're awful. I would put them above Kroot, though.
Yes. And why you were telling me earlier why you think they would be above Kroot but would still be an F tier, and why is that reason?
Well, I mean, there is actually somebody took top 3 at a pod once with Starstriders.
That was the reason.
Yeah, I do think that the Starstriders, there's a little bit higher of a skill ceiling than Kroot, so I think that alone.
Yeah.
I think Kroot has the basement floor, and the ceiling is the ceiling of the basement. It's like the floor paneling beneath the first floor.
Oh, that's
funny. The ceiling for Kroot. But for Starstriders, I think I think it's a little bit better if you I think there's a guy out there, the Starstrider master. I'm sure there's someone out there that could make it out of a group stage with this faction. But it's definitely not worth the time nor effort.
No, you'll hurt yourself doing it. Okay, so next we've got the Tau.
See that snug spot between Asuryani and Genestealer Cult?
Yeah.
I think that's where the Tau belong.
Makes sense.
Do you agree?
They're super mobile with the drones. They're basically getting Death Denied, but for free with the drones. I know a lot of people have been talking about crisis suits. I think it's jank. And I think
it's definitely jank.
Yeah, I think just sticking with drone spam and the rail rifle Pathfinder gunner spam is still the way to go.
Yeah, my issue with it really is, like, for me, Tau are like, you look at the board and it's like the dream board for Tau.
It is, yeah.
But for me, it's looking at the secondaries and it's a lack of flexibility that comes with being a pure shooting army.
Right.
Even like orcs, as like you look at orcs as like a pure melee army, orcs can still do some shooting. Tau cannot fight.
No.
They can't do it. What do we got next?
We have got the Thousand Sons.
Thousand Sons, I think they're kind of good here, honestly.
Yeah?
But they're limited a little bit by 100 points. Well, they're limited a lot by 100 points.
Literally by one whole Cybolt.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not true.
I mean, yeah, you can do it, but it's like an 8-man list with like 2 Sorks and like 6 Zangors.
Yeah.
Which I think it will be okay.
I don't think that's really that bad.
I do think their flexibility goes down, but I still like them here. I think they're competitive. I want to say B tier somewhere, but I don't know. Would you put them above or below Heretic Astartes? Because I think I'd put them above Death Guard.
Yeah. Zangors, they only move 6 inches.
Yeah. I mean, with the Greyhorn, you can advance.
I think I'd put them under Heretic.
Yeah.
Under Heretic, but above Death Guard. Because
Okay.
you can still... Them and Death Guard are so... They kind of mirror themselves, but just in, like, different ways.
Mm-hmm.
You know? You can kind of take, like, those bigger, stronger models, but then you can mix it up with the weaker...
I mean, to be fair, that's like all 3 of these Chaos teams.
Yeah, I know.
Like, that's kind of like a common theme.
Yeah.
Where you have the strong guys and you have a lot of chaff. I do agree that I think Thousand Sons should be below Heretics. I like them right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think they're skilled enough you can take them far, but they fall down some tiers coming from 125.
Yeah. We've got the Tyranids next, and this faction's kind of scary to me. How do you think that they would fare against an S tier faction?
It's actually weird where I feel like Tyranids are one of the few teams that I like the matchups against the S tiers better than I like the matchups against the A tiers.
Yeah.
In fact, I think they do much better against Drakari, Guard, and Admech than they do against Necrons, Tau, or Cult.
Mm-hmm.
And that alone, those matchups against the top tiers, in my eyes, bump them up quite a bit from like where I would normally see them as like a very high B, maybe a low A, to like I'm looking at like middle A.
In between Asuryani and Tau?
Maybe. I mean, it's been so long that Tyranids have
since
been...
like the Tyranid Horde meta has been like a thing, but now it's back.
Yeah, and unlike the other hordes, Tyranids have like... They have tools to prevent the Morale phase from just killing them.
Crushing them, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm looking between... I mean, I guess the decider for me is you're looking at the matchups below. And is there anywhere they really struggle in your eyes?
They probably...
I don't think they're actually that great against the B tiers here. But I think they're pretty good against the C tiers and obviously everything below that.
Yeah. I mean, it really depends.
I think they're one of the hardest to place.
Yeah. Just because of that. I mean, I think like just based off the fact that they're at the very least competitive with the A factions, and the fact that they can crush.
I wouldn't say crush, but I think they have the closest thing to a favorable matchup against the S factions.
Against the S factions,
you're gonna find.
I think they belong in A tier.
I agree, but where?
I think it's between Asuryani and Tau. That little spot right there. I think that's it.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. So we've got demons on deck.
All right, so a lot of people are really high on demons in this format.
I am not one of those people.
Me neither.
I think they're C at best. Honestly.
I would maybe say they're like. I almost want to put that like.
Because it's like, ooh, Cybolts, but it's like, no, people aren't really that afraid of a single Cybolt a turn in this tournament because like the Horde or the semi-Horde or the shooting semi-Horde is kind of like back in a big way.
I'll explain. So I'm obviously a big demon player.
Yes.
Demons at 100 points take a big hit from 125, like coming from 125. You're looking at like 11 to 13 models usually at 10 or at 100 points, and they're all leadership 7.
Yeah.
And they're all dying very easily.
Yeah.
So that means you're looking at 6 to 7. And actually, it's never going to be 7. Oh, no. You're looking at 6 to 7 flesh wound / out of actions to force the break test, which can easily happen turn 2.
Yeah.
By turn 2, I think, against a lot of these A and S tier teams.
Yeah.
Which means you're looking at potentially 3 break test rolls. And you might get lucky on the first one, or maybe the second one. But you're not gonna roll under a 7 3 times. It's just not gonna happen. No. And once you break, it is over.
Yeah.
It's just over.
It's really, yeah.
And for that, I mean, honestly think you're better off. This is one of the few situations where I'd actually, the more I've thought about it, I almost prefer Plague Bearers to Bloodletters, just because, I mean, you might as well just commit to the hold game and just hope that your Cybolts carry you through, because I think you can play demons.
Yeah.
The way you try to at 125, but you're gonna lose out to these top teams.
Yeah.
At 125 on this, if this was the same packet but 125, demons would debatably be an S tier team for me.
Oh yeah.
But I think I'm looking at B tier, like low B.
Low B.
Yeah, I'm maybe, but maybe, I don't know. For me, the benchmark.
I think the idea of the mostly Plague Bearers instead of mostly Bloodletters list with the pink horrors and blue, or like the pink horrors thrown in just to get those Cybolts. I think that's interesting. I think that's an interesting build on this.
Because I think the best way to do it is, and I've thought about it, and I was not a fan of this before, but I think you need to go like 3 or 4 pinks, which is like more than I would normally run at 125.
But you just need that resiliency, so you're constantly having a Cybolt.
Yeah, I mean, you just play super aggro with the pinks, let them die, and then tie up your opponent's models with blues.
Yeah.
Because if they're killing your blues, they're not breaking you.
Yeah. Because they don't count towards the morale roll or whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think I would put. There's man. Would you put him above 1,000 Suns? Because I don't even know if I'd put him above Death Guard.
I don't think I'd put him above Death Guard.
Because I think Death Guard can run a better Horde.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, a Poxwalker can like kill any demon other than like a Plague Bear.
Yeah.
I'd put him between. I think basement of B.
B basement?
Yeah. And that's probably against the grain, but whatever.
Sisters of Battle.
I don't like him here at all.
You don't like Sisters of Battle at 100 points with kill 1, hold more?
No. I don't like Sisters of Battle at 100 points, period.
Yeah.
They are... You're taking like 7 bodies. Like, I've looked at this, and unless you're running like basic Bolter Sisters, you're clacking out at around 7 bodies. And that's pretty rough. I mean, you've got Gottfried, you've got Pious, yeah, but I mean, I was of the opinion that back in like the BAO format, I thought Sisters of Battle were like a sleeper, like a dark horse faction. I was a big fan of them, and I think they dropped like far in this format.
About how many tiers do you think they dropped?
I honestly looked at them in the BIO format as like a high B tier, and I'm looking at them here as like, I think they're below Astartes, maybe above Servants.
I would say they're above Servants. Yeah.
I don't even know. Yeah, we'll say above Servants because one of the things that Servants has going for them is they do have a Psyker, and Sisters have a lot of multi-wound.
Yeah.
But the Sisters, they're such a primarily melee-focused team that you can't thrive on this board with that melee team without rerolling charges, with like limited durability even on the 2-wound models.
And they just don't have that. They don't have any sort of like subfaction trait to like really like bolster them or anything.
Yeah, they need one. But yeah.
All right, let's I think this is the last one, unless I'm forgetting a faction. We have got the Sisters of Silence.
I like them better than Sisters of Battle on here.
For sure.
I think the Bolter Sisters for Sisters of Silence are they're not your average Bolter model. I think like a Sniper Prosecutor spec or Sniper Spec Prosecutor could actually be really cool on a board like this or on a meta like this where, I mean, look at the S tier, T3,
it's all
T3,
T3,
T3, A tier, T3, T3, well, kind of Tower sort of T3.
Yeah.
But they've got mostly T4. But yeah. Until you hit like Necrons, like I think Sisters of Silence aren't that bad and they negate Psychic. The problem is it's kind of like Sisters of Battle where the bodies you're not going to be hitting a lot in those. I mean, those Sword Sisters are great and the Flamer options are nice, but again, you're not rerolling charges. You're not that durable. They have 3-up saves, which is actually going to be kind of nice here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say that they're below Deathwatch. I think they're below Astartes again. I think they're above Sisters of Battle, but I think they're...
Yeah. It's with those sorts of like bolter factions, I guess we'll call them, where there's like Space Marines, Deathwatch, Sisters of Battle, and the Sisters of Silence. In this, it's like there's like a return on investment where what am I getting out of the numbers of bodies that I have? And I think that Sisters of Battle and Sisters of Silence at 125 points, it's like the return on investment is good compared to Space Marines and Deathwatch. But when it's at 100 points, I think it's the reverse. Because Space Marines and Deathwatch have like literally like I think one more toughness, I think, separating them from Sisters of Battle and Sisters of Silence.
I mean, they're a lot bulkier.
Yeah.
Here's an argument for Sisters of Silence being above the Marines here.
Okay.
It is, how many Flamers realistically can you take with an Astartes team? Like at 100 points.
At 100 points, like 5.
But like on a normal,
13 points
but like that would fit on a roster. You're not going to take 5 Flamers on an Astartes roster, right? You're going to maybe bring like 2.
Unless I'm taking like Ultramarines, Company Vets, and they also have Storm Shields.
Yeah. So I think on a Sisters of Silence roster, you like realistically might have 6 or 7 Flamers on the roster.
Yeah.
And I think that flexibility at 100 points is kind of valuable. Obviously, Deathwatch, as far as Flamers go, they blow anybody out of the water because you can, but I think you might be able to do better with Sisters of Silence on this packet than Astartes.
Yeah.
Which sounds crazy.
It does, but it doesn't.
And they basically have like 13-point relic blades.
It really doesn't get much better than that.
Or maybe it's 14 points. But either way, I mean, the only downside to them compared to Astartes is, like we said, the T3. But I don't think the T3 is going to be that big of a deal on this meta.
Yeah.
So I would put them D tier below Deathwatch, but above Astartes.
That about does it. This is the real tier list.
Yeah, but now we're gonna play a little prank.
Yeah.
Because on every tier list, there's the people that will just click to the end just to see what it looks like.
Right.
So we're gonna mix it up real quick.
Yeah, we're gonna massively rearrange this.
And then but you guys, this is the real tier list. Screenshot it, go ahead. Now, all right, how do we make this crazy?
I say let's bump Star Striders to C straight out of the gate.
Straight out of the gate. I think we should. How about we put Gellerpox at A?
Gellerpox at A.
Let's throw Gellerpox up to S. Drakari, we're gonna put Drakari at C tier.
Drakari at C.
Yeah, for sure. These guys are trash.
They'll know it's fake.
Nah.
They'll know we're pulling their chain.
Drakari, they belong there, dude. Imperial Guard, we'll put them at B just for Godfrey, really.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. Admech, honestly, not high on Admech this year. I've never really liked him at all. D tier, easily.
D tier.
D tier for
They're
sure.
garbage. Get them out of here.
I think you could really make an argument for...
Kroot spam. You know how many bodies you can fit in a Kroot list at 100 points?
No, we got to keep Kroot.
There's 7 points a model.
We got to keep Kroot the bottom.
Hear me out, man. There's 7 points a model.
All right.
7 points a model. They easily beat out a
You're right. You've convinced
me. Easily.
I think Harlequins are an easy S tier on this packet just because they got rid of the impassable terrain.
The soaring spite.
Yeah. I mean, is there really anything you can say other than Death Guard are an S tier team once again? We're back to 2018, baby. I mean, I'm looking at Orcs right now. That's an F tier faction for me. Leadership 6? Are you kidding?
Get out of here.
Yeah, right. Good luck winning with that.
Just keep killing them, and they'll shake.
Yeah. I think Psychers are overrated. Let's put all the Psychers in C tier if they aren't there already.
Who am I missing?
Demons, Thousand Suns. We already got Grey Knights there. Where did we put Servants? Where did they go?
They're still in D.
They're a Psyker. Bring them up to C.
Oh, that's right.
Any non-Psychers in there? Oh, Drakari. Drakari should be at the bottom of C, I think. Just because they don't have Psychic. Star Strider's top of C. There's a lot of potential there.
Yeah. There's a lot of different list building opportunities with them, I feel.
Yeah. Deathwatch B tier easily. No, Deathwatch A tier. Top of A.
A?
Yeah, we're going to bump Tau and Necrons down to...
you can just frag cannon spam, man.
That's true.
Tau where?
Tau, we're gonna drop Tau to D tier, and we're gonna bump Astartes up to B tier.
That's fair.
And then
I think they're better than Heretics because they have better shooting.
They're the good guys too.
They're also the good guys. Yes.
We're gonna what is that faction? Oh, that's Gellerpox, of course.
Where's Asuryani? Asuryani is not staying in A.
Oh no, dude. They're
not. Look, they're worse than Drakari, so they definitely belong in top of D tier.
Right. They belong there.
They belong there.
I think we gotta keep Genestealer Cult where they are.
Yeah.
Necrons, they're probably a low B tier for me.
They lose out so much at 100 points.
Everybody knows that.
Everyone knows how much they lose coming from 125 to 100 points.
What about Tyranids? What do you think about Tyranids?
Horde's bad.
Yeah, let's throw Tyranids down to D. Right in the middle of D, and we're going to bump Sisters of Silence up to A, right at the very top.
Hell yeah. Top of A?
Top of A, yeah. All right, guys, this is it.
Yep, this
is the final tier list.
Yep.
The Command Point tier list. I know people have been begging for it for a long time.
Yeah, man.
And I feel pretty good about that.